our next game, which is going to be New England going to Miami to face one of the teams that came out the slowest, just absolutely got humiliated in week 1 in Miami against Danny Dimes and the Colts, just absolutely dominating them in that game. Dolphins fans are upset. This is a game that feels like kind of a must-win for both teams, if we're being honest. The Patriots blew the game against the Raiders last week. Drake May did not look great. It wasn't the greatest start to the Mike Vrabel era. And we talk about hot seats. Mike McDaniel's on the hottest seat of anybody. And I was going into this year, I was a Mike McDaniel guy. I do think that he is when he can get it going on offense, he's one of the better offensive coaches in the league, and he probably will be a great offensive coordinator. But the way Tua played, Tua is looking brutal. Mm-hmm. And that pains me to say as an Alabama fan. But yeah, this feels like a must-win game for both teams, and Miami just looks like the wheels have totally fallen off. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this game. What is the spread on this one?
It's -1, -1.5 Miami, and I'll get to
-1.5 Miami.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that the Patriots are going to be coming out ready to win this game.
When we get to my pick, it's going to shock you guys. I'm kind of spoiling it already, but I absolutely love Miami this week.
Okay.
-1.
All right. Well, hey, let's.
I saw -120 on the money line. So.
Okay. You take it away. You take it away because you're more steadfast in this than me.
I will say this. So this is why I love Miami this week. They're a team that if you're going to bet on them, you bet on them early in the year because they fade. It's going to be hot in Miami. You have an East Coast team that plays in cold weather, traveling down to the road sidelines are right in the sun. Yep. In Hard Rock Stadium. Listen, I don't think Miami's going to be a good football team this year, but I think if you're going to find there's not really a better spot for them than this week, in my opinion. I still think that the Patriots have their fair share of issues. We saw that against the Raiders last week. Not going to say the Patriots are a bad football team, but I think them coming down to Miami, a team that totally got embarrassed last week against the Colts, didn't even stand a chance. The whispers all off season. And to be quite frank, like when a line like this pops up and you see how bad Miami looked and the fact that they're still favored in this football game makes me think that something's fishy, and this is a fish line. So I absolutely love Miami. Give me Miami -1, or I saw -120 on the money line. Might just hit that -120 money line Miami. I think that when you see fish lines like this, you just gotta say it's fish for a reason, and give me the team that's going to be, I think, has every right to be fired up by how they performed last week. Maybe going out trying to prove some people wrong. Yeah. So
I'm right there with you, Turtle. I think Drake May was still seeing pressure on the Raiders. Got a bunch of reserve guys and Max Crosby. I mean, you throw in Zach Seiler. You just got Kevin Grant if you're the Miami Dolphins in the first round. Jalen Phillips, we know what he can do. Chop Robinson, an explosive penetrator when it comes to, disrupting the offensive line. They're a talented group. And they also just got their teeth kicked in by the Colts and got ran on for 150 yards. I think you're going to see you've got your coach on the hot seat. You just got your asses handed to you by Daniel Jones. It's going to be your home opener, as you mentioned, Turtle. They're going to be the Pats are going to be standing out in the sun the entire game. It's hard to plan for the scramble drill plays, but you know what's happening then? You're getting the pressure. You're getting pressure through the offensive line, and you're forcing Drake May to then beat you or throw it away when you're breathing down his neck. At -1, I don't think Drake May has the skill set, the weapons, or the athleticism to rely on kind of that hero ball of what I think is going to be a disruptive game plan for Miami's defense. And that's not even talking about how I expect we're going to see a much better offensive output, knowing that they probably still want to keep Tyreek Hill around. If you're going to have him, you might as well try and put up some numbers. You have the names on the offensive line. On the offensive side, their offensive line we know is still a question, but I assume they're going to play a little bit better than what I thought was one of the worst defensive units in the Colts coming into that game, going up against the Patriots. I think it's going to be a statement game from the Miami defense, and it's going to open things up for Miami to get back on track. First game at home. I mean, give me the Dolphins -3.
It's a pure spot. It's a pure spot.
Yeah.
It's not, they're -1. It's a
-1.
pure handicap, like spot play for Miami here. In my opinion. And if you're going to bet on Miami, you got to do it early in the year. And I think there's no better spot than to do it now. Quite frankly, I do think that there's probably some value on Miami at -1.
The only thing, real quick, I'll give you is the Dolphin weather, because early season home games in Miami,
That's what I'm saying.
That is absolutely a factor.
Yeah,
100%. But the main reason the Patriots lost this past week was their inability to contain the Vegas's vertical passing attack. Right? Do we expect Tua to be able to attack downfield after what we saw against, as you said, Mike, just a Colts defense that we expected to be awful this year?
It's a one-game sample size.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to overreact. Like, if every team was what they were week one, the Bears.
But the Dolphins looked like they gave up. I mean, the Dolphins already looked like they had given up on the season the way they got stomped in that game. I don't expect them to be able to, in 1 week, turn it around and all of a sudden be this rejuvenated team. Spot.
It's an interdivisional game. You're coming back to the Miami home. Again, pure handicap and spot play, in my opinion, for Miami here. It just lines up. And also teams that get blown out normally the following week, when it's not late in the year, like when a guy is not actually about to get fired, they bounce back. So, I mean,
Mike McDaniel might be getting close to getting fired, though.
Yeah, he's getting close, but it's not like it's week 7. I mean, it's week 2. I don't think this team's given up yet. They still have their, if they were 1-6 and then they were like, let's say Miami was 2-4 and this game is week 7, then yeah, I'd be pretty nervous. I'd say like we're at the end of the road here, but it's week 2. I mean, there's still a lot of season left. I don't think they're going to give up. I'm trusting that here as a spot and as a handicap bounce back play. I think the market's cheaper on Miami than it should be at -1.
All right, Christian. Mike and Turtle have got the Dolphins rebounding in this game. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think it is a pick 'em. The weather definitely favors Miami, but the offensive line of Miami is so questionable. I just don't know. That's the one thing I can honestly say New England definitely upgraded was their defensive front. And they do have the ability to dominate that offensive line. James Daniels is out now. So that's a big loss. I think Daniel Brunskill is going to come in and play for him at right guard, but they have a lot of questions on the O-line. That's my biggest concern. And then I was expecting more from the front 7 of Miami, and I did not see that. So I did have some serious concerns. I'm going to go with New England just because I believe in their pass rush a little bit more. Christian Gonzalez is probably not going to play again, but they do have a decent secondary, even though they let go of Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar's pretty much not playing anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how the secondary does against Miami. And then with Drake May, he just got to tone down the high passes, the high balls. He's actually a little bit more he looks a little bit more worse than Caleb, in my opinion, based off week 1. And then above all else, I think the major talking point is either Darren Waller got a no-show job for $5 million, or he should be charged with fraud or something, because I don't think he's playing for the year. I think he just took his $5 million and he's going to try and ramp it up, but I don't think he's going to play at all.
It seems like an overpay to give him $5 million. I mean, who's the Dolphins GM again? Isn't it like his name Greer or something? Greer?
Yep.
Will Greer's the quarterback. It is Will Greer.
Chris Greer.
Oh, is it?
Chris Greer.
Chris Greer. I was like, Will Greer's the quarterback. from West Virginia. But yeah, Chris Greer, I don't know. I guess he's just wanted to blow his free cap money. I mean, him and McDaniel are probably both on the way out. So, but not this
Right,
week.
so
Not this week.
I also really like the over in this game in terms of what I think we're going to see from an offensive output, and then I think you could see the Pats just putting up at least 20 points to make it interesting late. I like the over in this game a lot in terms of Dolphins go up big into the second half, late stage of a comeback. It's only at 43. That seems pretty low.
It opened at 44.5, so it got hit to the under off open. So that's interesting. But
so we'll see. I mean, go ahead.
I think Travion Henderson scores a touchdown. I think they have a little bit more explosivity on offense, and I think they win.
All right, so we got me and Christian going with the Patriots in that game, and Mike and Turtle going with the Dolphins. Dolphin weather will definitely play a factor.
Dolphin weather, spot handicap.
Anybody whose team's gone to Miami early in the season knows how that works. I refuse to believe in teams' home field advantages, but this is my exception. Is for
Green Bay too. Unfortunately, Green Bay's got one. The long grass.
Okay, well, I'm talking weather-based advantages.
Yeah.
Aside from like maybe Denver, people in Chicago, people always talk about bear weather and how it's like, oh, Bears players will play better in the cold. All these guys are from Florida, Texas, California, Louisiana, Georgia, anyway. So it's bear weather doesn't mean anything to them. But if you put a team in the hot sun on the sideline, the way that Miami does early in the season, it could be a factor. It could give them an advantage.